when you guys first got here, and like for the 4 seasons before that, there was a stretch where you won 9 games out of 143. Now, this year, you've won 9 games out of 10.
That's impressive. You can dig deep that far.
Could you have imagined when you guys came here that this was something this program could become?
Well, I think anytime you take over a program and, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And just with a lot of hard work and the time that we spend recruiting, I think clearly people come to the games and see the kids working hard, and that's indicative of, just what our culture brings, but just the extra, just being out recruiting, finding the right kids that, fit the profile here. Clearly that can help us win basketball games, but are great fits for the academy. And we've worked hard to do that up to this point, and we'll keep doing it.
When you were leading that recruiting, were you sharing kind of the history, or were you more focused on the opportunities when you were talking to recruits?
I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, I can remember the first time, I made a phone call for, a recruiting phone call. I was terrified. I was just praying that, the person on the other end of the phone did no more than I did. And just over the years, learning more about the academy, sharing what's special about it. Also, it's always, that's kind of one of the great privileges that I've had in coaching is recruiting. I always tell the other coaches how jealous I am of them, that they're out on the road more. I'm thankful I get to go out next Tuesday. I'm excited about that. But that has been, one of the joys of having been at the academy is sharing, what a great opportunity it is. And then just, finding the right kids, that's always been fun for me. I always say I call it getting the kill, because, other coaches and other programs wonder how we do it. And you just have to keep working until you get the right yeses.
Were some of the no's because of, man, I don't want to go where we lose all the time? Like, did you have those conversations?
Ask that again, please.
Were there girls who were like, with that kind of losing, I don't want to be part of that? Or was it more of a mindset of, I can be part of the rebound? Like, when you had those conversations, was that part of it?
Yes, and I think just being upfront in recruiting, not sugarcoating it, saying this is where this program's at and we need you to take it to this place. I think just whether it's parents or recruits, how much they appreciate your honesty, and we still do that today. Just making sure kids know how much they're needed here, and just being really upfront. But I can think back to, the Kaylin Immel. We were so excited. That's one of our first recruits that we got here that, really turned us in the right direction. And, we still, Kaylin's local and comes up and participates on the scout team. And, thinking about kids like Sierra Winters that paid her dues, Riley Snyder, kids like that, just that have, pointed this direction and pointed this program in the right direction, and we're just trying to make sure that we keep it going.
And then, on the floor now, like with this many shooters, so many years I watched this team play, and points were just so hard to come by. And now you have that luxury of the quick three from so many players. Like, how has that kind of helped get over this hump?
It's amazing. I remember in warm-ups many, many years ago after having been here, how we wouldn't make a shot in warm-ups. We weren't intimidating anybody in our warm-ups. And, and I share that sometimes with coaching staff just because, outside of Coach Raisley, for the most part, everybody's, pretty new and they don't remember days like that. So it's a good feeling when, Madison catches or, everybody thinks the ball's going in when Keely O'Halloran shoots it and Milani and, just it's a good feeling.
Okay. Yeah, and that's really all I have about this game because you guys, clearly you've become a superior team to some teams like this, which in itself, I guess, is a victory. Is it not? To where you can step out and know you.
In games like this, I always say this isn't about this game. It's about the games that are ahead, and just doing the little things. And I love the coaching staff. They try to remind me not to, decide which battles to fight and which fires to put out at certain times. But we know we're going to have to be more disciplined in what we do. But I think we're in a pretty good place right now.
Okay. And then if you want to, the trip coming up, I've talked to Madison about it, and also Keeley, for them to go back. Like, how nice is it? And I realize this is mostly for Madison, like as a program to be able to do that for your players, let them go play close to home.
We've always done that. We try to take our upperclassmen, seniors, juniors close to home so they can play in front of their families, and that's something we take pride in doing, and we'll continue to do it. But I know they're excited. Looking forward to going, at least close to home for Madison. And I know her parents are excited to have that opportunity in addition to Keeley. Keeley's mother played at Oregon, so it's going to be a flashback moment for her, and I can't imagine just how excited she's going to be to see her daughter out on the floor in Eugene.
And then, when that comes, the opportunity also, to kind of really show what the start could be. I mean, if you were to beat Oregon, that really, your record looks a lot better.
It sure would. I agree.
I assume you haven't started any kind of scout yet. Do you know, what at this point, do you know much about them?
No. But I do know what to expect. And, we've played tough teams in this program. Joe, Madison, Lonnie, that won't be foreign to them. And once we get into their scout, it'll be critical that we just do the little things and not do anything different. We will still be playing hard. Okay. And we know that we've been successful, just haven't really gotten hurt, on a great level in the post. We know we're going to see some size. We always do.
So I got a fun stat. So you guys have won 9 of 10. There was a stretch about 10 years ago. This program won 9 of 143 games.
Woo!
What
a turnaround.
Yeah. I mean, when you came here, were you aware? And I know at that point the rebound or the rebuild or the build, I guess, had started, but were you kind of aware of just how dark, from a win-loss standpoint, this program had seen?
In all honesty, I wasn't aware of the history of the program. I was a very quick recruit. I thought the academy was super interesting, so I didn't look into the basketball program as much as normal recruits do, but I looked into the military side of everything. So.
Okay. In your time, when you kind of saw how hard it was to win here, did you ever think that these days would come where you would have a run like this?
Yeah, my freshman year was, I feel like, the turning point. We had a really good group of seniors, and my freshman class, I kind of felt like it was turning around that year, so we always knew better was to come and that we could be one of the top contenders in the conference.
And then the way you guys have developed offensively with so many shooters, how has that kind of changed what you're able to do on the floor?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It makes the game way easier. Now we have 4 people out there that are going to score at all times, and we have 1 point guard that's going to give us the ball whenever we're open, so it's awesome. Jo can also score, but she doesn't like to. So.
Do you kind of, hate to have a break now? I assume it's finals coming up and stuff, but I think it's 10 days between games. Like, with the momentum you guys have, are you worried about that?
No, not really. The girls are all pretty locked in, and we do have momentum, but I think we also need a little time to let our bodies rest. Coming off Puerto Rico, the girls have heavy legs, but we're ready for the next trip and super excited to get on the road.
The history thing. And again, 9 of 143 games to 9 of 10. Like, when you came in, were you aware of what kind of what you were facing in coming here from a competitive standpoint?
I would say I was a little bit more aware than Maddie was, but it's hard to recruit players here, so that stat doesn't really surprise me. And Coach D really took this team and put us on the right direction, and Coach Max doing the same thing.
Yeah, you did at least know that, right? Did they tell you, hey, we haven't had a lot of success, but
No.
Or did they just preach the trajectory?
Well, Maddie and I were COVID recruits, so I think our whole recruiting experience was really different than everyone else's. We were just excited to get an offer, really, because no one saw me play from in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So I was like, hey, I'll go anywhere that takes me. Yeah.
How much pride do you have in taking, helping the program go from where it was to 9-1?
Oh, a lot of pride. I will say the way that I play is it's always been a pass-first mentality. So I know, my passes don't matter if people aren't hitting shots. So, it all all glory to the other girls there. Yeah, they're helping a lot.
Well, and on that line, as you know, talking about the shooters you guys have now, it's just so different. You know, it used to be you had to manufacture points, and it was such a struggle at times, and now it's just like you find one of 4 shooters out there. Like, what is that? What is that like running that offense?
It's fun, to put it shortly. We know that we have people that can score at the end of the shot clock, like Milani, but we also know as soon as we get that open shot, we're shooting it, and we all believe in each other. Like, hey, you missed the first 2, shoot the third one. We think you're going to make it. So it's really fun. To me, it's really beautiful basketball, swinging the ball around and getting up wide open shots.
And are you excited about this trip coming up? And kind of, I assume was Hawaii kind of your trip last year?
Yeah, that was my trip. I would say I was probably a little bit more excited for Hawaii than I am for Oregon. But Maddie's family they're great. They always take me in as one of their own. So I'm excited to see all of them, and I'm super happy for Maddie to get to play there.
Yeah, how special is it within the program when it is someone's turn to do that?
We sacrifice a lot coming to an academy, and the biggest thing is family time. We give up a lot of our family time. So watching other girls get to play in front of their family, even if we're playing, Oregon, whatever, our families are super proud, but we're super proud. We're so happy for Maddie. Even Keely's from Oregon, so we're happy Keely gets to go there too.